It is the Pete Sousa Show. We are live in the Rogue Media Alico building, or just the Alico building. We're powered by Rogue Media, brought to you by Slovachiks, D1, Daniel Stark, and the good folks at Socorro Family Ford. Big day today. I'm auditioning for the Backstreet Boys. What do you think? You are my fire.
Stop. You fail. You lose.
Does
your
that
audition.
no? If I sing it, I it's potential that I could sing it so well I might get us taken down. So that's why they made me stop. Although I did want to talk to Mike Hamilton. I do believe I could get up here and do I could do a Christmas album. I think so. Right? If we had enough like resources and like music in the back. Mike, where are you going? Uh-oh. Mike got up. Mike, do you think I mean, what would it take? Seriously, I think I could do one.
To do a Christmas album?
Yeah.
I think that I think we've got some rights that we have to get a hold of.
Yeah, but if everybody else and their grandma can do that, why can't we? You know?
Well, I will tell you this: like me and my buddy Casey, we were coming back from a concert the other night.
Oh
and,
boy, this
and
took
he
a turn quickly.
he not at all. He Scotty, you really don't have to get me on camera.
On the show.
So he says that he and I are going to get up at this concert we're having on the 20th, and we're going to do some Christmas songs. So I asked Sheridan and Brazos to back us up with the bass and the drums. So we're going to get up there and do the little drummer boy.
There's a person here that's named Brazos?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like the river?
Yeah, like the river. Yeah.
Wow.
No, like the brewing company. I don't know.
All right, well, Mike, I would like to do that. So we
you want to sing a Christmas song?
I mean, maybe I would like to do maybe one song. Yeah, there's got to be a way we could do one that's fair game and copyrighted. Everybody else is putting out a goddamn Christmas album. Why can't we?
Yeah. No, I'm down with you, Pete. I'll help you record a Christmas album. It'll be for next Christmas, but yeah.
Maybe we could do one song for this Christmas.
You want to do like you want to just do it on your show, or is this something?
Yeah, but would
separate?
it get taken down?
Is this an EP that we're going to release?
I don't want the show to get taken down because of copyright.
It's according to what you get. I mean, I'm sure there's something out there in the public domain that could be used.
Yeah, but I want it to be a popular song, like a cover.
Well, then you're screwed. I don't know.
But maybe there's cover.
There's a guy on YouTube that what he does is he takes the Mariah Carey, Christmas song. What is that song?
All I Want for Christmas Is
Yeah,
You.
all I Want for Christmas, right? He takes that and he puts her in different situations. So like there's one where it's Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas, but the studio gets hit by a car. And then there's one where it's Mariah Carey, but she's got a cold or she has to sneeze or something like that. Those are the Christmas songs that I want.
All right, listen, we're Mike.
Little Drummer Boy, right? Is that the one you want to do?
I want to do Little Drummer Boy.
I'll do the Parumpa Pum Pums.
If I do Little Drummer Boy, then I'm gonna have to register every time I go to move and live somewhere. I'm not doing Little Drummer Boy.
So which one would you do? What song?
I would do like Let It Snow.
Uh-huh.
I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Uh-huh. Isn't there like
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree?
Isn't there like one Christmas song that you just don't hear much anymore?
I would do Mr. Grinch.
Oh, that's a good
You're
one.
a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I could do that.
Yeah.
You really are a heel. All right.
Copyright,
That's
please.
enough for that. Okay, we're gonna get back on track here. But I do love Mike Hamilton, and I'm serious. I would just for a spoof. It'd be neat to see how that would go down. How good it would be. All right, Cam. Cam's coming up. Third segment. Second segment. We got Matt Mosley. We got a lot to cover here today. I am wearing a turtleneck because it was part of like an outfit earlier today. I feel like I need to get into that because I don't know. I just feel like if my brother saw me in a turtleneck, it would be the Super Bowl of ball breaking. So it was part of an outfit, and that outfit is gone, but I had to race up here. So here we are wearing a turtleneck. This is how things happen to people. A cable knit sweater. Okay. But yeah, I filmed the Inside the 12 show today. Big time preview. Iowa State and Arizona State. It's going to be an exciting Big 12 championship game in Arlington, in a game now that looks like it's. And this kind of sucks. We're going to find out more tomorrow. We're going to talk to Shahan Jayaraja from CBS Sports. Our boy Scotty Swingler put that together. Shahan was actually a part of the Big 12 show we just did, which is going to air on ESPN and then all the affiliates and YouTube. But Scotty, how do you feel about this Big 12 championship game? And it kind of sucked that we had to use this language as a probable college football entry, like this. If there's a probable bid,
I
on the
think we will find out tomorrow when they unveil the rankings that it's a definite entry.
Okay.
Tulane blowing it this past week kind of solidifies that. I thought it should. I mean, we talked about this last week. I thought it should have been a definite entry regardless. But
yeah,
with Tulane losing, there's no excuse to me to keep the Big 12 champ out. And I think Arizona's going to win it. Arizona is one of the hottest teams in the country.
Yeah.
Arizona State, yes, correct. One of the hottest teams in the country. So they'll, I think, get in, and I hope even not the lowest seed like they were projected last week.
And I think too that if the game was played anywhere else, Iowa State would blow the doors off them. It's a
really,
yeah. Well, I think Arizona State has lost their best receiver, Jordan Tyson, and I think that because of that, I think Iowa State will win.
They have not lost Scatabo.
No, they haven't, and he's amazing. He is amazing, but I don't know. Iowa State's defense is really good. And Arizona State hasn't seen a defense like this all year long.
Should be a good matchup. Can I ask you, since we didn't talk about this yesterday, were you a little disappointed that it didn't work out to get Colorado in there? I know you were.
Yeah, dude. I thought it sucked, and especially because they beat Oklahoma State like an absolute drum, and it was one of those things like, hey, you got to beat BYU in that game. I'm sorry, you got to beat Kansas.
You got to beat Kansas,
and they didn't do it, so
right.
It sucks. But they had their chance, man. They really did have their chance. A bunch of stuff I want to talk about today. A couple things. I want to talk about LeBron James. LeBron is amazing in this sense. So now he's insistent on playing 82 games, but he's in the worst shooting slump since his life, basically, since his rookie year. So he's made this thing where, I feel like, look, this is LeBron. And I need to preface this by saying he's one of the best basketball players of all time, and he's one of the best guys of all time because he's such a great example for young people, what he's done with all his schools. He never gets in trouble, that we know of, which means he never gets in big trouble. And he's an amazing player on the court. He's a great guy all around. But he's a different guy. And his ability to deal with certain things is always kind of funny. Like, it's like he's stomping his feet now. I'm going to play 82 games because people give me a hard time about the load management. And now it's like, it's almost like a young teenager who's like pouting. It's like, well, I'm not going to play 82 games to my own detriment. Like, now, do you see what this is doing to me? But I'm doing it for you. And finally, JJ Reddick is like, yeah, I don't think we can do this anymore. Because clearly, look, man, LeBron is not young anymore. I mean, just think about how different your life was when LeBron James started playing in the NBA. I mean, it was 2003. That was crazy. I mean, my life was, I don't even want to go there, but it was very different. So LeBron has been around for a very long time. His goal of playing 82 games is in jeopardy because it seems like JJ Reddick is going to just help LeBron where he can't help himself. They lost last night 109-80 to Minnesota. And he said after LeBron shot 4 of 16, it's funny, right? Like, LeBron's awesome, but like, I almost like, and this is like, what it's almost like he's doing this on purpose, right? Like he's going to do his best to he's making a scene, But yeah, that's just, I'll be interested to see what happens with all of that and with LeBron. NFL football, Hall of Fame. Mike Holmgren and Sterling Sharp are among the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists. Scotty, come on up for this. Did we have, now what we did on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
That was different than this, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So this is, I mean, because I know that Sterling Sharp or Shannon Sharp wasn't on my list, right?
Right.
Okay. So
He was not in that list.
So how is this different?
I'm not sure how it works, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm not well researched. Maybe Cam can help us with that.
Cam, forget it. He's got headphones on. We'll talk to Cam about this in segment 3. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, again, Mosley is coming up. There's a lot going on as far as the Cowboys are concerned and their winning streak. And if it will indeed become a winning streak, they won 2 games straight. The last game against the Giants are really, really bad. And I think it's like you cannot get carried away with that victory at all. The Giants now are the only other team in the NFL not to win a home football game, as the Cowboys were able to win that game. Rico Dowdle, who had the 100-yard rushing game, became the first Cowboy in like 20-something games to rush for 100 yards. When I heard that on the Doomsday podcast here, we're going to talk to Matt Mosley, that was an alarming statistic. I had no idea that it had gotten that bad for the Cowboys. That was something that I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. We'll discuss that with Matt Mosley a little bit. I worry about the Cowboys and where they're headed. There's 2 ways. There's 2 schools of thought. One, they're worse than we think right now because they've won 2 straight. That's like fool's gold. Or 2, they do keep winning and Mike McCarthy keeps his job, which like I want to talk to Scotty. You think there's no chance?
I am the biggest Cowboys fan certainly in this room, and I would be so upset if he keeps his job. Because what's ironic about you pointing out that rushing statistic is that directly correlates with getting rid of Kellen Moore, because Mike McCarthy said he's too pass happy and we need to run the ball more. And all that's happened under Mike McCarthy is the offense has regressed, particularly in the run game.
Yeah, and Ed Werder said that talking to Mosley on Sunday. He said, or I guess it was Thursday, he said Mike McCarthy talks about running the football a lot.
Doesn't do it.
All the way back to Green Bay. Ultimately, when he's in control, he does not run the football.
No. What he says his ideals are don't align with the product on the field.
Yeah, no, not
kind of like how Jerry talks about wanting to win, but it doesn't align with the product on the field.
So we'll see what happens with that. That's something I'm very interested in. Scotty mentioned it. I was bummed about Colorado not making it to the big dance. Hey, that's a bummer, but what are we going to do? I spoke with Kenny Dillingham and Joey McGuire yesterday as a part of that Big 12 show. We're going to share those interviews with you on Thursday. The impression I got from Kenny Dillingham was that without Jordan Tyson, who has been the best wide receiver in the country maybe over the course of the past 6 weeks, which has really helped Arizona State to winning 5 straight and the greatest turnaround in Arizona State history, and now they're on the brink of a college football playoff berth. By the way, Kenny Dillingham is 34 years old. I mean, that is ridiculous. He went to Arizona State, grew up in Arizona, was playing football in high school, tore his ACL, and his coach said, hey, you should start to coach. You're too small. This is an opportunity for you to get a head start. And he actually took his coach's advice. He started to coach the JV team and has literally since he's 34, 17 years of his life have been coaching football. And this is the first time in his career, the past 2 years ever, that he has been since high school, since he was coaching high schoolers 15 years ago, that he's now back on the sidelines. He's been in the booth for that long. And he said, and you'll hear more about this when we share the conversation, but he said that he even contemplating seeing if he could be a head coach from upstairs, which obviously is not something that he felt would behoove him at the college level, being a head coach. So a lot of fun. Got to talk to Joey McGuire too. And Joey was pretty vocal with his thoughts about where the Big 12 is kind of getting hosed when it comes down to college football playoff rankings. And if you listen to guys like Shahan Jayaraja, if you listen to a guy, of course, Joey McGuire becomes like a mouthpiece for the Big 12. But the reality is that the Big 12 is a pretty good conference. And, one game in particular, when you look at how the Big 12 and the power of the conference has been dismissed to a degree, all anybody wants to talk about is SMU and how great they are. BYU beat SMU. earlier in the year, and like it's almost as though that didn't happen in both respects, in the power for the Big 12, and where the ACC is, and folks are looking at SMU. I find that to be somewhat interesting. So again, here's the cool thing: we will have, according to Scotty, and I believe him, like after the rankings come out tomorrow, we will see that the Big 12 championship game will be a precursor to one of those teams making the college football playoff. And the really cool part about that is you get to play the games. You know, you get to play the games, and that'll be fun. I think that Iowa State is actually better suited to go into the college football playoff and win a game, because odds are Arizona State will be playing on the road in a cold weather game. And if that's a night game, that could be rough. You know, like even last week, Iowa State, they beat Kansas State at home, and it was in like the 18-degree temperatures in Ames, Iowa. Iowa State plays really good defense. So it's a situation where I just feel like Iowa State and the way that they play football sort of lends itself more. Because now we get to talk about college football sort of like we do the NFL, which is, okay, is your team equipped if you make the playoffs to win on the road in the NFL? Because a lot of times, like if you're in the NFC this year, like it's likely like you'll have to go through Philadelphia at some point if things keep going this way for the Eagles. There are other good teams there too, but you get what I'm saying. You have to win running the football and in cold weather. Go ahead, Scotty.
Well, so keep in mind that like some of those first round matchups, it's not just teams up north. Like Georgia will probably be hosting a game. Tennessee, but some of those SEC teams will be hosting games. That's one thing. And if you can win that first game, then you go to the traditional bowl sites.
Yes.
So I would not count Arizona State out, bro. Like I understand the Tyson injury is a bad one, but I'm going to be a slight hater here. Matt Campbell has yet to outcoach someone in a massive football game.
Yeah.
Not saying he can't.
Yeah.
But he has yet to do it. And so I kind of like the idea of the rookie head coach and the team pick 16th and the running Scatabo, the running back. I think there's some really fun storylines, not to dismiss Iowa State, but I think the Arizona State kind of movie success story.
I
really
like that
fun,
too.
man.
It's certainly something to
it's really fun.
Yeah, it's been fun we've certainly enjoyed the ride. One other thing for Arizona State, which kind of I think they get screwed, is this weekend. It's a Central Time kickoff at 11 a.m. That blows if you're Arizona State. Like, and I forgot to ask Kenny Dillingham about that, but they can't be in love with that start time. I just think like little stuff.
Great.
Yeah, the same. It was. If I'm not mistaken, I think, or maybe it was a 2:30 Central start. But when they lost to Cincinnati and when they lost to Texas Tech, both those games were earlier in the day Central Time start. So something to keep an eye on. Somebody who it's so hard to keep an eye on because he's just about everywhere is Matt Mosley. He's coming up next on the Pete Sousa Show.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.